Lee Summit is your destination for big city vibes and small town charm.
Head to the downtown Lee Summit Farmers Market, where local meets fresh. Then grab a cup of coffee and discover a variety of shops and boutiques just around the corner. Continue the fun in downtown Lee Summit at a retro arcade bar. Discover your new beer at one of our 6 locally owned breweries. Cool off with some handcrafted cocktails at happy hour. End the night with live music and good company. Lee Summit, Missouri.
Hello, Lee Summit. I'm Laura, and this is your flash briefing for the week of November 11th. Want to get more involved in the community and make a difference? The Lee Summit Housing Authority Board of Commissioners is currently taking applications for new members. The Housing Authority is a municipal corporation funded under Missouri law that administers federal funding to affordable housing programs in Lee Summit. Citizens who wish to serve may apply by completing an application on the city's website at cityofls.net. We are needing your input. Every 2 years, the police department conducts a brief survey to better understand resident needs. Survey feedback is valued and used to shape the community's safety and well-being. Find a link to the survey at lspolice.net. Have you ever wondered how your local government works? How the city budget is developed? Where the city water comes from? The Citizens Leadership Academy will help answer those questions and more. Tour facilities and learn about the inner workings of city government from city leaders and elected officials. Participants will attend 7 sessions beginning in January. Applications are accepted through December 13th and space is limited. Find the application on the city's website. The festive season can be particularly tough for those struggling with a substance use disorder. The Lee Summit Police Department has partnered with behavioral health providers to provide a path to recovery for those seeking treatment. Participation in the Safe Passage program is voluntary. Find more information on the city's website. Heads up, Jackson County taxpayers. Lee Summit City Hall is currently unable to process tax payments, print receipts, or create waivers. Taxpayers are advised to visit a Jackson County location or pay online at jacksongov.org. And city facilities are closed today, Monday, November 11th for Veterans Day. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
So many of our past successes were made possible by understanding the multitude of perspectives in our community. When we take the time to see the world through someone else's eyes, we enrich our own understanding and foster an environment where everyone can thrive. When I see the renovations we've made to our parks, I see an investment, not just in essential infrastructure, but in people that builds community and directly impacts the physical and social well-being of our residents.
I see equity, inclusive playgrounds where people from all walks of life can come together.
I see a place to play.
When I see the development we have helped facilitate in our community, I see the results of solution-oriented decision-making, with job opportunities, easier access to goods and services, housing options, improved infrastructure, and increased economic growth.
I see projects created through collaboration between the city and developers that will provide value, benefit, and opportunity to the Lee Summit community.
I see growth in community and a way to connect more people to their food.
When I see the major road improvements underway, I see well-connected and safe transportation that enhances mobility and increases access to local businesses, spurring economic growth, safe deliveries to homes, and happy trips to ball games and activities.
I see improved roadways, added sidewalks, and shared use paths for pedestrians and cyclists, safe transportation and recreation for all.
I see better connectivity, increased lanes, less congestion, and just make it easier to get around.
When I see the investments we've made in public safety, I see enhanced emergency preparedness and first responders who are ready on a moment's notice to protect the community and deliver immediate life-saving care.
I see the city value its fire department employees come to fruition in recruitment, retention, and a positive culture.
I see a community that can respond to emergencies quickly. My whole family lives in Lee Summit, so there's a lot of peace of mind there.
What we do is not just about making decisions and funding budgets. It's about enriching the quality of life for all of our residents. It's about realizing that a building is not just steel and concrete, a park is not just metal and ropes, a road is not just asphalt, and a city is not just land. It's about the experiences we provide to all people of all generations and backgrounds.
This month's Council Member Spotlight is all about Mayor Bill Baird. Check it out.
I have always volunteered in the community and I was always really involved, but then I ran for school board. Whenever I got done with my term, I just felt like I had more to give. It's always been my goal from day one is to get everyone in the community connected and working together, and I always called it a spirit of community. Well, Mayor's 24/7 and I have a job. I've had to work really hard at compartmentalizing, is what I call it. So during this time, I'm gonna do work. During this time, I'm gonna be mayor, even though I can get a call at any moment about mayor stuff. And so I've had to even work that much harder at setting aside time for myself or for family. So I like to exercise, I like to work out. Hillary's my wife. She actually goes to work out with me as well. And we do like to go downtown to the shops. We make sure we maximize our time together. I mean, I've got 2 kids as well, and we spend a lot of time with them, or whatever time they will give us these days. And I have a dog. I think most people kind of know me know I have to have a dog. We have so much development going on, and we're growing fairly quickly, so we have a lot of infrastructure needs, and sometimes we have gaps in infrastructure, and we've always managed to get by, but with this kind of growth, we're really having to be creative and look at our options and just have a good plan for water, sewer, roads, and more. If we want to grow the most healthy way, we need a diverse economy. We do have a lot of retail that's opened up here, and there's been new construction for retail. We really need to focus in the future on bringing some, well-paying jobs here, good, strong employers that want to be located in this this incredible community of now 101,000 people. A lot of our workforce does commute to work still, so they leave Lee Summit to go to work, and it'd be nice if we could keep some of those citizens right here in our community. The times I feel most proud are actually when I'm in the community and I see the community come together.
We have Buddy in the house. Mr. Mayor!
The tree lighting is always very fun. I always feel very proud. It's just a great warm feeling. The same thing goes for when the council will do something and we come together and make a good decision together. There's been a few of those that you go home feeling like a winner. And one of them was when we put together the downtown farmers market, when we bought the land, and it became real, you know, all that hard work. But also the Diversity and Inclusion Commission, that was months and months of discussions and conversations that were really hard to have, and we went ahead and moved forward and as a council all together, and I was very, very proud of that. And there are a few things that the citizens have done that have really helped us tremendously. First, in the middle of a pandemic, they passed a use tax, which is a way for us to collect sales tax whenever someone purchases online. That helps shore up our revenues so that we can continue to provide as high quality services that our city provides. And it helps us take care of our employees, it helps us with our public safety and more. So I can't be more thankful to the citizens for that. Lee Summit has the opportunity to have a major impact on the economy in the Kansas City area. We already, as an economy, are rolling along with such a high median income. We have an amazing workforce here that are paying taxes, they're paying property taxes, they're paying sales taxes, they're keeping our economy rolling, and we really are getting the attention of all our neighbors. And I think that what's going to happen is you're going to see the opportunity for us to really get everybody's attention when businesses start moving here, bigger businesses and more so. You should try to find a way to give back to the community, whether it's at the city level, you know, citizen committees, or just participating in some of our community conversations whenever we have those opportunities. It's worth coming out of your shell or taking, you know, that leap of faith and just showing up and saying, what can I do or how can I help? The more that we do this together, the more wonderful the community is.
Councilmember Pryor. Councilmember Lovell.
Here.
Councilmember DeMoro.
Here.
Mayor Barrett.
Here. Okay, we do have a quorum. First item is approval of the agenda.
Chair, I move to approve the agenda.
Second. Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Seeing no discussion, roll call, please.
Councilmember Lovell.
Aye.
Mayor Baird.
Aye.
Councilmember DeMoro.
Aye. Okay, the motion passes. Public comments, I see no public, so we'll move right into business, which is the 2024-6596 approval of the action letter for October 14th, 2024 for the Legislative Intergovernmental Relations Committee meeting. Looking for a motion. Yes,
Chair,
sir.
I move to approve the action letter.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the action letter of October 14th. Roll call, please.
Mayor Baird.
Aye.
Councilmember DeMoro.
Aye.
Councilmember Lovell.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Next item is the discussion, item number 2024-6540 of the capital projects needs list. Mr. Head.
Well, I thought I'd ask Michael Park to join us. I know the questions surrounding that we had last time about this project list were about the issues surrounding like money for match and those kinds of things. Let me pull this up for us. Don't have it up there right now. Okay, well, that password's not going to work either.
By the way, Mia is going to join too in a few minutes. She got the Zoom update also.
Oh no. And Brian, Michael Park is at a meeting at Mark today.
Well, he says, yes, he thought it was in council chambers, but I see it's a Zoom, and he asked me to send in the link. So I will really.
I sent him the link.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna see if I can get in to get this document.
Oh, you're right. His meeting's not till 1. I can look his calendar on.
Let's see. Sorry about this. I thought Michael was going to be here to lead this discussion for us.
He's in.
Okay.
2 seconds.
I have the sheet popping up.
Councilmember Pryor's joining also. It might take him a second. It's running kind of slow.
Well, my computer is really not liking me today. Okay.
I used to work with a mayor that called these ton days. They're Monday and Tuesday together, and you have a ton to do, and nothing works right. So
yeah. Crystal, could you turn on sharing, and I'll
yeah.
pop.
It says that it's on. Let me turn it off and turn it back on. See if it helps. Okay, try now.
There we go. Okay. So can you see that? It seems like it's really small.
Go to view and switch to your print view, and it'll make it wider.
Print view?
So go up to view on Word where it says view.
Well, yeah, okay. Print view.
Yeah, or it'll have some different.
Under print layout right now.
Oh, then you just have to zoom in down at the bottom of the far right hand side above the clock. You can zoom in, make it bigger.
Is that any better?
There you go.
Can you see the whole thing, or is it? Let me try that again. There we go. Is that better for you all?
Yes.
Okay.
That looks good. Yeah.
All right. All right, Michael's here. So I think the issue last time was there were questions on these different projects about match and state money that's sitting out there that haven't been spent and that sort of thing. And I know that the chair has had some discussions with Michael Park. That was one of the things we had mentioned in the minutes from last time. So Michael, are you here with us, and can you kind of address some of those issues?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So I could talk specifically about any of these particular priorities, as well as the conversation I had with Councilmember DeMoro in regards to if there was a surplus of funds or unallocated funds from the state that they're looking to program somewhere on shovel-ready projects. That too, we have availability. We have opportunities that we could accept plenty of money and assign those to projects across the board that are what I would consider shovel ready. Most of them are projects that are already going to bid. That's normally the case when you see projects that are shovel ready, and I would expect shovel ready being the window of anything in the remainder of the current fiscal year, the federal fiscal year or state fiscal year. That's normally what they're looking to do, is to park that money on something that can be spent within that fiscal period. We have examples of even out like the airport. We have a terminal building. We got a grant. We don't have a local match, but it is shovel ready. The plans are ready to go. We need the money to build it. We have road projects that have already gone through the federal aid process that we could put more federal money or more state money to obligate those funds, and they're ready to go. Whether that be a Ward Road north of 2nd Street, whether that's a Douglas or 3rd Street that just bid, we can always use those monies on projects even that are bidding and awaiting the award to begin construction. And so we have lots of opportunity if the state's willing to send us money our way on shovel-ready projects. Now, some of these that you see on our transportation priorities project list are not what I would consider shovel-ready. We have not even begun to work on I-470 or Hook Interchange or Air Traffic Control Tower because we don't have any money identified at all to support those 3 projects. So those truly are what we're looking for, earmarks and state and federal assistance to kind of get those projects off the ground and going. So that was generally my conversation with Councilmember DeMoro, was that yes, we have shovel-ready projects, and we could take all the money they're willing to send our way. Be happy to accept it.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Park? Here. Yes, Mayor.
So Mr. Park, on this first one, the 470 widening, we've gone through like a couple, we've been asking for this for a few years, so you're just gonna have to help me organize it in my brain, compartmentalize this. First time we as council went to Jeff City to kind of ask for the 470. We talked about widening. And I think the estimate was about 168 million from MoDOT. And then last year changed approach, and we talked about the interchange at 470, because to me, the bottleneck that you get there at 470, when you're trying to get on 470 going north, when you're on 291 trying to get on 470 at bottlenecks there at Colburn, and then also coming back the other way, it's really a terrible transition where you have to get in the left lane to stay on 291 or to exit on to 291, however you look at it, from 470. And so it's a bottleneck every day, at 4 o'clock, and sometimes it can be really, really bad at 5. So is there a reason that you put this one on here and we put this one on here and not the interchange itself at 470 and Colburn?
Yeah, we didn't have the 470 Colburn 291 interchange in this scope of work because we felt like we first need to address the capacity issue on I-470 all the way from 40 highway or I-70, but there's already an I-70 291 or I-70, I-470 job that MoDOT is pursuing as part of the I-70 project. But we felt like we needed to really get the rest of I-470 6 lanes south of I-70 to where 50 highway is, and it's 6 lanes west all the way out to Three Trails or Triangle. And we thought that was our first step. It doesn't do us a whole lot of good to redo the interchange in the junction at 291 and Colburn at I-470 without having the capacity to take those cars somewhere else. And that's where we're kind of stuck a little bit. Now, it'd be great if we could get all of it, but we're talking about adding significantly more dollars to the scope of I-470 widening.
So you think that it doesn't do any good to do the interchange because if we don't have the capacity on the road to handle more cars, but couldn't the same argument be made that if you have a bottleneck at 470, you're still going to, they can only zip merge so fast if from where they're getting
it would do, yeah, it would do some good to have that interchange done. Don't get me wrong, but it would, the good that's going to happen is mostly going to be on our system. It's going to be improving 291 south of 470, not our system, but more local and business access. It'd be improving access up to Colburn. But where we're seeing this slowdown and congestion is that merge point, because there's just not enough lanes on I-470 itself. We see it heading southbound too, where they're getting squeezed. I don't know any better way to put it, but we got all 6 lanes headed in, and it's the same traffic. They're just bypassing. They're not really destined to Lee Summit, but a lot of this traffic's just trying to get up to I-70, and they're just getting squeezed, and that's where it's starting to back up.
Well, it's an easier ask to me because that goes in, it's not just Lee Summit. It's not just one interchange in Lee Summit.
Right.
It's an easier ask at the state level. I just want to make sure that it's the right ask. And then secondly, are you sure that estimate's right on here? Or, because I could have swore you guys showed it at 168 million a few years ago.
This estimate was prepared a couple of years ago, like you said, when we started knocking on the door at the state and trying to get attention to it.
Just double check it.
And so it may be upwards of 160 million, 168. That I'm not exactly sure. We haven't gone through that level of analysis. We're just kind of getting us in the ballpark with where our estimate is. It's also been scoped back a little bit too from maybe where some of the earlier estimates are now that the state is moving forward with the I-70 widening, and they're addressing the interchanges up at 39th and 40 highway. And so we would not be, as part of this project, going all the way up to 40 highway, but just south of that.
So go ahead.
Okay, well, before I go to Jeff City, I just need you to review the documents that we are going to be putting in front of them, because I'm looking at my computer and I don't know, maybe I didn't put a dollar amount in it last year when we went. Oh, I have 138 million. So that's in alignment. I'm just wrong on my numbers. Okay.
Yeah, and we can prepare more detail if that's helpful, of the scope, and maybe a map that shows all the interchanges and bridges that need to be replaced along the way.
I need to show you my map. I already did all that.
Okay.
I'll give you my map and you can fix it, because we went down there last year with a big pitch for them, and I mean, I thought it went pretty well, but it's just a big ask, 140 million.
It is, and at least my proposal is that we don't have any local funds in this 140 million. This is truly a big ask. This is looking for a federal earmark with the state matching, not with the city of Lee Summit coming in here trying to help, because this is not just like you said, Mayor, it's not just a Lee Summit project. This is a complete Eastern Jackson County, South Jackson County, all of the Kansas City Metro project is what it is.
Okay. Well, I think the difference for my fellow council members, the biggest difference this year is they've already made the determination that they're going to widen 70 highway. And now that that's absolutely decided, then I think this is it's still a big ask, but it's an easier ask. to make it match up to 70. So don't you all agree with that?
Totally agree. I mean, this is this is a need that is 5 years ago. I mean, it's just it used to be just in the evening time. Now it's all day sometimes. Every time I'm on 470, if I get on at Douglas, it takes me a long time to get to Woods Chapel. Every time, just about.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Michael, when you said that this would just go, and actually, you know, I know we haven't drilled down to these details to this extent, but to 40 highway only, so it would diet down to 2 lanes from at 40 highway then before.
No, there's my understanding is there's another MoDOT project that goes in that whole I-70 interchange at 291 or 470.
Okay.
That includes 39th Street on the north and 40 on the south. So they weren't just redoing that interchange at 70, but they were going both directions, north-south, because they're so closely spaced.
Okay. Is there a timeline on that improvement, or is that still in the planning stage also?
It's still in the planning stage, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that gives us some information to add to our request, you know, when we go back down in the spring, because, you know, it seems to me common sense would say to do both of those projects at the same time rather than do one and then restart and do the other. So that just gives us some more information to tie into, although we really need ours before that one. But that's, you know, where we can ask and see what traction we get. Absolutely, yeah. And then I had another question, but I can't remember what it was now. Oh, I know, the Lee Summit Airport, the 12 million for the tower. I may have already asked this in this meeting and maybe of you also. Is that a 12 million with MoDOT participation or FAA participation also, or is that just straight from us? It's on us.
That's on us, correct. The way that the contract tower program works is that we find the funds to build it, and then they will operate and they provide all the personnel and the ongoing expenses. So we just need to build the facility, and then we will have a tower. We've been admitted to the contract tower program, so they have staff that they will provide, and they will operate it.
And there wouldn't be any way to go through Mark for any public improvement money or anything?
No, and we don't get aviation funds through Mid-America Regional Council. Those are usually through the state or directly from the FAA. Our chances of getting any FAA dollars for construction are minimal, if just none exist. It's just not an option. So we've not looked at any funds there. We continue to be successful in getting other maintenance money for airfield infrastructure, you know, for repaving, taxing lanes, and those sort of things. But and even for part, like I said, we got almost a 50-50 dollar for dollar match on a terminal, but that is there to help support the aviation and the public uses of the aviation airfield. And the tower, the FAA believes, is that their contribution is the operation and the staffing for it, not the construction.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Do we have any other questions from the council on the priority list? Can't see everybody, so.
I would just comment, if you would allow me, Councilmember DeMoro.
Absolutely.
On the Hook Interchange project, it's a priority. We've been told by the state that there's plenty of money in the state's cost share funds for that type of project. All we're missing on that one is really the economic engine, for this public-private partnership, like we've done other interchanges. So if we were successful in, say, a Walmart, TDD, or any other development in that area, provide that local match, I'm pretty confident we could go to the state and what I'm saying is I don't think this is a big ask for their cost share program to give us money as soon as we have a local match available.
Okay. The other thing, that would be, trying to think what, okay, design and engineering 25, 26, right away. Okay, right. That's what I was going to ask. I see I've got the information here. It's just, okay. Well, any other questions again, from anybody else? Don't see anybody, so speak up because I can't. Yeah, okay, well, I would say we pretty well tackled that. And then, Brian, did you want to talk about the actual handout that we're going to give to the legislators, or have we pretty well vetted that?
So with regard to this document, our intention here was just to have an additional little document that we had available to our lobbyist, so that whenever it comes time and there's, somebody wants to spend some money and they want to give it to Lee Summit, which we're going to encourage, we have something that we can hand them that says, here are kind of what our priorities are. So that was sort of the point of this document. What I would intend to do with it, at this point is I'm going to give it to Creative Services and ask them to give us something that's eye-catching, nothing real complicated, because it really isn't intended for a general audience in the same way that our priorities list is. It's going to be much more narrow, and I don't know that it requires a large production value, but we do want it to look nice and we want it to be eye-catching. So with your approval, I'll go do that, and then we can bring that back next time. I don't know that this one requires council approval. This isn't the official priorities of the city. This is just some additional information that we're going to provide to our lobbyist. So that would be my intention with this one. I mean, does that feel appropriate to members of the committee? Is that what you're looking for here as well?
Mayor, yes.
I'm good with it.
I'm good with it also. I was able to look at the, and for all involved here, Brian sent over an email, if you haven't seen it yet, that is kind of cleaned up too, and that's this morning. So anybody else or have any comments on the handout to our lobbyists, if you've had a chance to look at it?
So the other document, Councilmember DeMoro, I think we need to discuss real briefly is that priorities list, or the priorities document, the RAC card that we kind of finished up last time. When we ended the last meeting, our instruction was to kind of make the few changes that the committee had from last time, and then go ahead and get that on a November meeting after we sent it out to the group. I didn't send it until this morning. I should have sent it on Friday, so you had a little more time to look at it. But we did do the cleanup on that. I mean, I think they have corrected the formatting issues that I know were present before, and our intention is to take that document and get it on the city council agenda for November 19th, kind of based on the action of the committee in October.
I think it looks fine. I would lead the discussion if anybody else has anything. Councilmember Lovell, Councilmember Pryor. Anybody? I assume that everybody is in favor of it, so I think it's good, Brian, unless somebody has any last minute comments. So
well, we will I have the packet about 80% ready to go. I will finish that up today so that it will be on your agenda for November 19th with council. It does come as a resolution, so it's just one trip to the council. and we'll have that one finished, and then we can send it off to the printers to have the actual rack cards made, and we can distribute those out to the mayor and council.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, that leads us into roundtable. Does anybody have any roundtable?
Chair, I do have.
Sir. Yes, sir.
We in having some conversation, staff had some conversation with MoDOT a month or so ago regarding the 291-50 interchange and that whole development with moving of the highway patrol and all of that. It is now time for us to do the land transfers from MoDOT and the state to the city, so that we can rearrange that whole intersection. We were in need of legislative sponsors, so having discussion with our lobbyist, we have been able to secure Representative Patterson, who is apparently I don't think the vote's been taken yet, but who is on track to be Speaker of the Missouri House, will be our sponsor in the House, and Senator Searpoy will be our sponsor in the Senate. MoDOT is aware of this. They were actually pretty happy that we were able to already secure local sponsors for the bill that we need that will transfer these pieces of property. MoDOT is already actually working on the bill. So it's our hope that we will have that pretty soon. Staff can check it, double check legals, do all of those kinds of things we normally do. And then it can be ready to go into the legislative hopper really early when they start taking bills for pre-filing in December. So we're going to try to get early on in this process. And it does seem like every year, the longer the session goes, the more the politics kind of amp up. So we're hoping maybe we can get this in front of the legislature very early as an early bill, and we can avoid some of that difficulty that always kind of comes toward the end of the session. So that is well on its way, and it's in the works.
Okay. Yeah, I think the swearing in of Representative Patterson will happen in January when they go into session. But and I feel very confident that he's going to, he's going to have our best interest at heart. So I look forward to, like you said, that into the early sessions to discuss this and get it sealed. So anybody else? Anybody else? I'm not seeing anybody. I hope I'm not frozen here. No, I see heads moving, so I think
you want to know. Oh, you want to know when the next meeting is?
I do. Yes, I do.
December 9th.
December 9th. Okay.
At 11:30.
At 11:30. All right. Well, with that, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
All righty.